Yo, what's going on, YouTube? I am back with another video as usual. Man, listen, it makes 1 year since I had my CDL. I've been driving for 1 year, you guys, locally, overnight from 2 to 3 times a week. And it's been such a ride. It's been amazing. I had my good days, I had my bad days, but I definitely had more good days than I had bad days. I do not regret getting my CDL. I'm glad I got it. And I just want to reiterate something before I move forward. Listen, when you get your CDL, just understand you're not relegated to just stay in the dry van. You don't have to just drive dry van or reefer. You can get into the tanker. You can do tankers. You can go into the construction industry and you can utilize your CDL there. There's a lot of ways you can use your CDL. So don't just only think just this 53-foot trailer. There's more to it than just that. You just have to be the one to take the initiative to learn where you can put your CDL to use at. All right. So yeah, it's been a year, man. It's been a journey. It's been a ride. If you've been with me from day one since I started this channel, salute to you, and I'm happy that you're still rocking with me, that you're still riding with me a year later, because I've been documenting everything I've been going through. There's days I don't show stuff because it's either way too extreme and or either I don't have the equipment on me in the moment. But I try to show you guys everything I go through and what it's really like from my point of view, from my lenses, from my eyes, looking outward towards the world as a local truck driver. I wanted you guys to see what it is for me. So when I make these videos, it's for you guys to get an in-depth view of what it is for me in my day in the life, because this is my livelihood. This is what I do every day to make my living, and this is part of my strategy. This is part of my plan. Now, my plan is not to be a truck driver forever. I have other plans indeed, but this is the beginning of my plan. This is the groundwork, this is the footwork, and this is where I start to build. But again, it's been a great year. I started off a year ago, and I started off. I got my CDL actually in January of 2024, and I drove with Amazon until the end of August. No, yeah, the end of August. I left Amazon because Amazon just didn't pay. Amazon is a multi-billion-dollar company, million-dollar, billion-dollar, whatever. They make bread. So for me to be getting paid the wage I was getting paid and to continue to stay there, it just wasn't happening for me. I just didn't see it. It just didn't make no sense. It wasn't beneficial financially. So I had to dip up out of there. Other than that, I don't have nothing bad to say about Amazon. The company, the people I was working with, the company, everything was cool over there. I had no issues with anybody. It's just the pay was not working for me. I stuck around only so that way I could just really get my 6 months in. So that way other opportunities will open the door. And thankfully, where I'm at now, that opportunity did open up. Um, so, so that opportunity did open up. So I'm with the company I'm with now, and I have been here for six months, which all equals up to a year. So I was 6 months with Amazon, 6 months here. So that's my year. February 2nd, no, February 3rd made 1 year officially. 1 year since having my CDL, February 3rd. So I'm just a little over that 1 year, just a little over that 1 year mark. I could add in that extra week and a half or so just to make it seem longer. But yeah, man, and it's been a ride, man. And when I got with the company I'm working with now, when I got with this company, this is for me. This is where the real truck driver mentality, the real truck driver skill really starts to come into formation. And I say that because with Amazon, all I had to do was drop and hook. I didn't have to slide tandems. I didn't have to really do much, but just follow what the ELD told me to do. They had all my loads on the ELD, where I'm gonna be going. They had the GPS on ELD, so I was basically being controlled by an ELD, just doing whatever it told me and just driving, and that's it. I didn't have to slide tandem. I didn't have to do none of that. Just drop and hook, or yeah, just drop and hook or bobtail somewhere. So it was simple. It was thankless. It was a thankless job. It was easy, and it was fun. I had a lot of fun in the beginning with Amazon and driving for Amazon. So I had a lot of fun with that. But it was it was thankless. It was thankless. As long as you can read and follow the GPS, there was really there was really no way you would really make a real big error unless the truck had a mechanical issue. So fast forward to the company I'm with now. This is the company I'm with now is where I started to develop what it really is like being a truck driver, not just someone driving a truck. Because I do believe there is a difference. Before, you couldn't tell me there was a difference. Like if you go back to one of my videos, maybe a month and a half or 2 months ago, I was saying how a truck driver is anyone who drives a truck and blah 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 blah. Because that's what I believed in that moment. But working with this company, I was developing a truck driver's mentality, and with that, it's just more to it. And when I say more to it, I mean it starts to become this lifestyle. In all honesty, it starts to become a lifestyle. It's not just getting in a truck driving for 8 to 10 hours and then dropping it off and going home, and you could like, and it's kind of all right. Let me just say this: at Amazon, all I had to do was drop and hook or bobtail to pick up. It was so thankless. I didn't have to slide tandems. I didn't have to deal with a logbook. Everything was already logged electronically. I had to literally do nothing but drive and drop and hook or pick up. It was that simple. The company I'm with now, it barely do I do a drop and hook, but I'm bumping docks and I'm getting loaded and unloaded. But there's times I do have to slide my tandems. I never learned how to slide. One of my drivers, one of my driver trainers taught me in Amazon how to slide the tandems, but he only showed me how to do it once, so it was a little challenging to do it. And then I got with the company I'm with now, and a lot of places they want you and they need you to slide those tandems. So I had to do it more often and more frequently. So when I started to do it more frequently, I became better at sliding them. Now I can slide them with, blindfolded. That's something I think being a truck driver, you develop. You develop the mentality of time. There's a specific time when you have an appointment. You have to become real good with time, math, and management, and managing that clock. I can't stress that enough. Managing that clock. So everything you do is all structured around this time clock. So you have to use your time wisely, and there's not enough time to waste, and no time should be wasted. Everything should be, you should be able to do things efficiently but safely and quickly. Well, I know people be like, oh, why you gotta rush? It's not even about rushing. It's just work smarter, not harder. you know but I'm gonna bring it back. I don't want to segue too far off. But when I say developing a trucker's mentality, it's just things on the road, that I'm discovering that I didn't have to do with Amazon. There's times I would have, like, when I was working Amazon overnight, I didn't have to go into the scales and get weighed out. It's nighttime, the scales are closed in the area I was in. This company, I'm going through scales left and right. I'm getting weighed out. I actually had an inspection before. So I'm going through all these scales, and now I'm understanding how the scale system works out and how the inspection, everything works out. And I wouldn't have known that if I was still with Amazon. You know, um, the logbook per se, we didn't have to use logbooks in Amazon. We just, everything was electronic. So I didn't have a logbook, nor did I know how to use one. Now the company I'm at, I use my logbook every day, and I know how to utilize the logbook now. Um, it's just a lot of things, man. And then when you're going real far out on the road, and you got to use the bathroom, you're hungry, or you run out of water, you really want to get a drink, but you look at that time, you're like, wait a minute though. Do I got enough time? Then you got to go back into that mental Rolodex of, do you have enough time? How you gonna squeeze this time in to stop to use the restroom? You know what? I'm just gonna pull over on the side of the road then. Like, it's just a lot of things that go along with it. When you gotta sleep, I don't sleep in my truck, granted, but I still sleep out. I mean, I know it's not really the same per se, but nonetheless, I'm still sleeping out away from home because of the truck, because of this truck. Without this truck, there is no driver, there is no work. Without this truck, I cannot work, and I cannot get this product to where it needs to go, or pick product up to bring it where it needs to be. So everything revolves around this truck. And I am solely responsible for this truck. When I go overnight and I park this truck, I need to be wary where I'm parking at. I need to be wary of locking it up, and making sure it's safe and secured. When I was at Amazon, all I had to do was just bring the truck back to the yard, drop it off. It didn't even matter if it was locked. Throw the keys in the office, go home, forget about it. So when I say mentality, it's just certain things that you learn when you're on the road for multiple days at a time. Because when I go overnight, I'm on the road multiple days. So you just develop a certain kind of mindset of how you're gonna do things when you're local. And when I was on Amazon, I didn't have to, I didn't have that mentality because there wasn't things popping up left and right, where I had to figure out solutions and things like that. So it's definitely a lifestyle. So when I made that video a little while back and I said, if you drive a truck, no matter what, you're a truck driver. I mean, it's still true because technically you're driving the truck. But what I will say is definitely a difference though. It's definitely a difference, especially when it comes to the truck being part of your life. Like, whether I want to admit it or not, I'm still a little bit in denial about it because I don't want to feel like I'm putting myself in a box. I don't like getting put in a box. But I feel like now I gotta admit to myself, this truck is part of my life now. It really is. I'm in this truck more than I'm home. I'm seated in this truck more than I'm seated at my kitchen table. I'm seated in this truck seat more than I'm seated on my couch. I'm seated in this truck seat more than I'm laid back in my bed. I'm seated in this truck seat more than I'm seated in my car seat. So I have to admit to myself that this truck is my life now. Like, this is my life now. Look, don't cry about it. Don't be sad for me. Don't mope for me. I don't want to make it sound like I'm in some kind of prison or some cage, because that's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is when they say this is a lifestyle, it is, because this is what I'm doing. This is what it is. Like, this is what it is. This truck is part of my life now. When I go to my day to day, when I wake up in the morning, I'm on my way to this truck. I'm dedicated to this truck. I gotta do what I gotta do. When I leave it, I have to make sure it's good condition, nothing's wrong, and if there's something wrong, I gotta make sure I report it. Um, Make sure it's locked up, secured, all that good stuff. But in the back of my mind, that truck is still there. In the back of my mind, no matter what. Even when I leave and I'm all right, now I'm going home for the night. I'm done. I'm done. I was on the road 14 hours. I'm done for the night. I'm going home. I know I got 10 hours to come back to this truck. Between that 10 hours, somewhere around there, this truck's gonna pop up in my mind. It's gonna come from the back to the front briefly. It's going to pop up because I'm gonna be wondering. All right, I wonder where I'm gonna go tomorrow. Or I wonder where I'm gonna go in the morning. Or, oh, I wonder if I really turned the ELD off. This is definitely a lifestyle, you guys. No doubt about it. Being a truck driver is definitely a lifestyle. Um, when you're local and you're staying local and you're home every day, it could be a little bit different for you. Your experience might be a little bit different. But for someone like me, who I'm home maybe 3 times a week, sometime two, and I'm going back and forth, state to state, sleeping in different hotels, it's a lifestyle. Um, and I truly think that any job you work is a lifestyle. If you really think about it, any job you work is a lifestyle, in all honesty. But yeah, being a truck driver is definitely a lifestyle. It's not just about driving the truck. And that's what I thought in the beginning until it started to make sense to me. But so yeah, man. So do I regret it? Okay, so I have my good days. I have my good days. Most of the time, in the beginning, the honeymoon stage is the best stage because you're new to it. It feels new, so it's exciting. You know, as time go by, the excitement dwindles down. You're not as enthusiastic to drive the truck anymore because now you're familiar with it. Now you're comfortable with it. So now it doesn't feel as fun. Now it's more. It's just now it starts to. It's not. This and I'm gonna remind you. I'm speaking for myself here. Now it starts to come more as, okay. This is a job. This ain't just fun to drive trucks. You gotta take this serious. This is a job. This is a duty. So I started to get a little more. Well, not a little more. I started to get more serious with truck driving. Again, if you go back to my beginning videos when I was on Amazon, I was having a lot more fun. And it's not that I'm not having fun now. I was having a lot more fun because I didn't get the fact that it was a lifestyle. I was just thinking to myself, I'm just driving this truck, I'm having fun, I'm dropping and hooking. This is so easy. I only work 3 to 4 times a day. This is great, you know. And then fast forward to now, where I'm working 5 days a week, um, anywhere from 10 to 14 hours a day. Um, only off for 10 hours out of each time I go off duty. So it's just so I'm more in the truck. I'm more involved now. I'm more invested. I'm more invested. So now that I'm more invested and it's evolved, it's evolved me into a different person now. I'm a driver. Like I can say that, and it did take this time. It took a year, you know, for me to really develop these skills, this mentality, and this direction that I'm trying to go right now. But overall, no, I don't regret it. I'm glad I did it. If I could go back and redo it, I'll do it again and again and again because having a CDL, you're not restricted to just driving a drive van. You could or a reefer. You could go anywhere with the CDL that is needed. There's a lot of things you could do with the CDL. It's not just this, man. So don't just think you get a CDL, you just have to drive these drive vans or just a reefer. There's a lot of other things you could do. Just do your research, go online. You know, Google is free. There's so much information out there, man. Don't let it slip out your hands. Can make something, shake something. But I don't regret it, and I'm glad I'm where I'm at right now. I feel like right now where I'm at, since I started a year ago, I elevated a lot. I became a great driver. I consider myself a great driver. Yes, I do. I do consider myself a great driver because I'm safe. When I drive, I swear at everything. When I drive, I always think about my safety and other people's safety around me. I don't care. I'm going to always drive the speed limit. I'm just going to. You're not gonna force me to speed up just because you're in a hurry. And I see a lot of drivers just speeding in these trucks. Not me. You know, not me. Granted, I'm not gonna just float at 65 every time it's 65, but I'm not gonna be doing 70 to 80 either. 70 to 75 either. You know? But it made me a better driver, a great driver, a safe driver. I learned a lot of things about the truck that I didn't know that I probably wouldn't have found out had I still stayed with Amazon. And I still am enjoying the journey. There's times it may not look like I am. It's only because now my head is in the game, and in order for me to be focused on what it is I'm really need to be doing, I have to still stay focused at all times. So whether open up the back of these doors, back it into a dock, my head is in the game, man. My head is always in the game at every given moment when I'm in this truck and on the clock because I don't have no room for errors and I don't want no errors. You know, I just want to do what I have to do and make it back home to my family. And you know, so I know I went off a little bit on this one. So my 1 year review, that's all I really got for you guys. You know, if you don't have your CDL and you're thinking to get your CDL, you just got to ask yourself a couple of questions. You got to ask yourself one: is this the lifestyle you want? Because again, especially if you decide to go over the road, if you decide to go over the road, understand this is not this is a lifestyle. You're going to be fully invested into this truck. This truck will be your life. So think about it real good. If that's what you want for yourself, you got to think if this is what you want. Do I want to be invested into a truck or not? You know, because it's a lifestyle. It's just things that's gonna happen out there. You know, that's out of your control because you're in a truck. You know, so just think about that. You know, and yeah, man. So if you don't got your CDO yet, ask yourself that. And if this is something you want to invest in, I highly recommend you go get your CDL. It's a good opportunity. I think it is. You know, once I get a little bit more experience, my plan is to go to tankers. That's always been my plan originally from the beginning of starting this journey. I always wanted to do my tankers, and I'm going to do my tankers. That reminds me, I'm going to also do a video when I go get my TWIC. I already got my hazmat and my tankers and my triples and doubles. I'm gonna go get my TWIC next, and I'm gonna also do a video on that when I go get the TWIC. So that way, you know, I have just about everything under my belt that I would need. you know. And my passport. Forgot about that one too. And my passport. So Twickenham passport. That's up next on the chopping block. But yeah, man, having a CDL is a great investment, especially when you got a plan. Have a plan when you come into this. I will say that. I'll leave it there. I'll leave you with that. When you're gonna go get your CDL, have a plan. Because if you have a plan, it just works out a lot better for you versus just jumping into it and expecting something and it don't be what you expect. But this is my 1 year review, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and you took something out of it. I inspired something. I sparked something. Any questions, any advice, I'm always ears and shoulders. Drop down in the comments, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.